this is going to go down as the worst trade in NBA history. I had no idea why. Dallas was like top 2 when Luka was playing. He went down, and the team was holding down the fort. They still had a losing record, but they were like 9-13 when Luka wasn't playing this season, but they were still keeping it close. They did drop to around like 8 or 9 in the standings, and it doesn't make sense that you think a team that's currently struggling because Luka's not playing, that the answer to get them back playing is not that Luka's going to be healthy and the rest of the team's gotten healthy. Guys that have been injured were just coming back. It's not letting them play out the rest of the season and seeing what they got. It was to trade Luka. And to me, this actually looks like what I think is what we're going to see a lot of in the NBA, which this was 100% financial motivated move.
Definitely.
Luka was eligible for the Supermax contract, and it was going to be like the new Supermax under the new collective bargaining agreement. He'd probably get the biggest contract in NBA history for like 5 years.
Basically.
And Dallas said that with Luka constantly getting hurt, I mean, he's not getting hurt where he's missing whole seasons, but he's missing chunks, anywhere from like 8 to 20-something games every season. It seems like he's missing, which does put his team in the bind to always be a little bit lower seed, where if he would play, maybe only missing 5 to 10 games, he could guarantee them a home court advantage.
Definitely.
Even though they were a lower seed as a 6th seed last year, Luka got them all the way to the finals. But then he kind of did wear down. He wasn't in the shape that he needed to be. And once it got to the conference finals, even though they took care of the Minnesota Timberwolves pretty easily in a gentleman's sweep, that his legs were shot and he literally had nothing left in the finals. His knees were bleeding every game. He was saving all his energy for offense and literally looking like a practice cone on defense against the Celtics. And it's hard playing, 5-on-4 on defense when someone doesn't, can barely move because their body's aching so much since they're not in good enough shape to go through the long playoff haul. Like, that's what they say. It's like, you got to be able to be in a good shape to make it to play all the way through June. And so even though he got them to the finals on a bad leg, they didn't know if they would be able to use him to get over the hump. But I think all of this is shitty excuses from Nico Harrison, and he should be fired. But the new owner had to agree to this. And I think it's 100% financial, because we even saw with the Minnesota Timberwolves, they made a great run, and they traded Karl Anthony Towns for DiVincenzo. And, that was totally a financial move. But let's go ahead and see the video, and then we'll continue talking.
This deal materialized in the shadows. This came out of nowhere. This is maybe the most stunning trade. Definitely
tight. J Kidd didn't know about it, but J Kidd and I are aligned, and we talk about archetypes, and we talk about the culture that we want to create.
J
So
Kidd
I
looks
know
like he's in
the
shock.
type of players that he likes without actually talking to him. Hey, would you like, so I know that. And J Kidd coached them when they won the championship. So I think when you're aligned with your coach like that, I know the type of players that he likes. And so I felt good about it making sense to where we're trying to go.
Yeah, I talked to Mavs general manager Nico Harrison and asked him the motivation for the trade. He says, quote, "I believe that defense wins championships, and I believe getting an all-defensive center and an all-NBA player with a defensive mindset gives us a better chance. We're built to win now and in the future." So that is Nico Harrison's public explanation of why they're motivated to trade Luka Doncic, a guy who's been a perennial MVP candidate, entering his prime, for Anthony Davis. Now, I can tell you the Mavericks have been extremely frustrated with Luka Doncic's constant conditioning issues, the concerns. His weight ballooned into the high 260s this season. They believe that is something that is directly attributable to the injury issues that he's had, the durability issues that he's had. They had major concerns about that.
345 million Supermax.
Triple double, AD, let's go.
triple-double AD. Let's go.
He's gonna like that trading him basically. He's gonna lose over $100 million in what he would be able to get because like when you're with a team for a certain amount of years, you get the bird rights, so you're eligible for the supermax. So now since he's new to the Lakers, he'll only be allowed like a regular max. And I think it's like 100 or 117 less than he would have got with the supermax with Dallas.
I think he did this. I think he did this on purpose. I think he pulled a James Harden. Came to training camp fat, overweight on purpose. I mean, they've been showing videos like when the Mavs won and Luka tried to drink that beer and like they stopped.
Oh, in the conference finals, yeah.
And I was wondering why they stopped him from drinking the beer. It was basically his weight. Like he having the same.
Michael Finley took the beer off of him.
Yeah, I think he's having the same problem that Zion has, his weight issue. And he doesn't care about it because, I mean, he's the best person on the team. He's carrying the team. He's dropping 70 points. Like, him dropping 70 points was the worst thing ever to happen to the Mavericks.
No, I mean...
because once he did that, like, he was like, you can't tell me shit now. Like, I don't give a fuck about my weight. Like, I can drop 70 points, be 260, drop 70 points, and still score more than everybody. I can pass everybody the ball, and y'all can't even come close to 30.
Yeah, and it's like... I don't... It's like one thing, like... To me, like, the biggest comparison is, like, Zion, right? Like, he has a weight issue, and they constantly talk about it. He's a generational talent that's not as good as Luka, and the Pelicans still haven't given up on Zion.
Hey.
It's like Zion's been an all-star a couple times, but I don't think Zion's ever been an all-NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
Luka's been, like a 5-time all-star and a 5-time all-NBA player. Like, he's performing. He got his team to a conference final and an NBA finals.
Can't be that.
And, I mean, I've heard other commentators say if Luka was coming down the court, bringing the ball up the court and smoking a cigarette, they would not care because of what he can do on a basketball court. Gilbert Arenas said, defense? What defense? You might score 15 points on me, but I'm scoring 40 on you, so I'm giving you way more than I'm giving up.
Pretty much.
So I definitely think Luka could be in better shape, but I feel like it's crazy that they had a whole team built around him with players there that came there to play with him just to give up on him on the season. I feel like he was going to come back and they were going to go on a run. And the whole thing about him not being in the best shape this offseason is because he literally went and played all the way through to the NBA Finals while injured. And the one thing y'all wanted him to do was get healthy. So he wasn't working out. He was getting healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He was literally, resting so that way his body could heal from the long season. And it's like, instead of y'all saying, oh, it might take him a while to work in the season or he might get a little bit injured before he gets fully in shape, y'all are like, oh, we're going to trade him and give up on a 25-year-old prodigy. I mean, this has got to be the dumbest trade ever, especially since Dallas didn't talk to any other team. And you have people like, Rudy Gobert, the Utah Jazz, getting like a couple players and 4 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert.
True.
And you can't even get a deal like that for Luka. It's absolutely laughable. All the other teams are heated because they feel like they got cheated because they didn't even get a chance. Because like OKC could have got like the Jalen Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They could have got like Jalen Williams, Chet, and 3 first-round picks.
True.
And they would have done it. I mean, that's a way, way better deal. And they got like the crappiest deal that they could. And their whole thing is they're talking about health, and it's 100% laughable because Anthony Davis's nickname is Street Clothes because he's always injured. So how are you going to talk about someone being barely overweight against someone that's always injured and is over 30?
True.
Like, what are we doing here?
I mean, I can see them. They could have traded him to the Pelicans, and they could have got Brandon Ingram and C.J. McCollum. They got C.J. McCollum and Brandon Ingram for Luka.
I mean, they really could have. And then the thing I think that Dallas is going to find out that like Luka was their engine, and I don't know why they thought they were winning without him when they had a losing record. That's not winning.
It wasn't that bad of a losing.
It was 9-13.
It's like 4 games.
Before that, Luka, in games without Luka, Dallas was like 2 or 3-57. And then now they were like, like 9-13. So I don't think that having Kyrie, who's never been the number 1 player on the team, even when he was the number 1 team, they weren't making the playoffs until LeBron got there. And then, he played with Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. And so Kyrie Irving is a number 2. Anthony Davis has always been a number 2. When Anthony Davis was a number 1 in New Orleans, they were never making the playoffs.
True, but him and Cousins.
Once him and Cousins got there, they were making the 8 seed. He was either not making the playoffs or making the 8 seed.
True, but he
didn't win a championship or do playoff runs until he was with LeBron as a number 2.
I guess
so you have 2 number 2s on the team and think they're going to do good with a whole decent, good supporting cast.
I guess they feel like AD missing being called Street Clothes Davis is just as equivalent as to having Fat Luka. Like they both gonna miss the same amount of games.
It's like,
but at the end of the day, you can build more team. I mean, the team plays more like a team when it's more than just you standing in the corner and you take the shot. When Luka plays, when Kyrie plays, like the team is different. You could tell the team is different. It's less alleys, yeah, but at the same time, everybody's scoring. PJ
Luka
scoring.
leads the league in assists. I mean, how much more passing does he
but
need
he's
to do
passing
when he
to
plays?
Gafford and Lively, like leading the league.
And you got to feed the big man.
Of course, I give you that. But I mean, if you leading the league, giving like 9 to 11 assists, and like 5 or 6 of them is coming to the big man, like, and then 2 of them is coming from the PJ Washington from the corner. Like, I mean, you're really not helping all the people. You just doing the same, because he did the same things. Like Gafford was like leading the league in like most field goal percentages unmissed. Then you have Lively making his 2 or 3 that you seen. Then you seen PJ Tucker making a couple of 3s in the corner.
PJ Washington, yeah.
PJ Washington making a couple of 3s, and then Kyrie trying to get in where he fit in. But now it's like that's
usually what it is. It's crazy because we're gonna see a Kyrie's also over 30 of him being the number 1 option if he can get it done. Because the thing with Kyrie on this Dallas team is that he would coast, and usually he would get it going and take over for 1 quarter. He's gonna have to do more than taking over 1 quarter a game.
True.
He's gonna have to be taking over at least 2 quarters and have AD at least try to take over 2 quarters and then split the load. But I think they're gonna have to hope that maybe Clay takes a quarter.
It's Clay and Grimes.
Whoever's cooking, either Kyrie's gonna have to have 2 quarters where he cook, or AD's gonna have to have 2 quarters where he cooks, and then Clay's gonna have to have 1.
Pretty
and then
much.
One of the role players is gonna have to have 1.
It's basically like Dragon Ball Z. Like Piccolo had to fuse with who did he fuse with Nail to make like the super
Supernamic.
The Supernamic. So basically Klay Thompson has to fuse with Quentin Grimes.
Oh my god!
And then it's the only, because he's the only one really off the bench that's really like making. He's balling. I gotta admit that. Unless Najee Harris like injured,
and then Dinwiddie will go back to the bench, and then you'll still have Hardy if you need a third guard.
True.
And now Dante is finally healthy.
True. But with this trade, now we talked about the Mavs. You got more to say about the Mavs side? You ready to move to the Lakers side?
No, with the Lakers side, I think this is like they couldn't believe that this is available. So, of course, you do that deal immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Screw whatever you got going on right now. This is for their future. The Lakers got their star the next 10 years. And honestly, when I played 2K, it's funny that these were the 2 teams that I used, is the Lakers and the Mavs. I'm more a Mavs fan since Luka's my favorite player. But now it's funny that I got like the Mavs team from 3 years ago on the Lakers.
Pretty
I
much.
literally could have a starting lineup of Christian Wood at the center, like Maxi Kleber at the 4, LeBron at the 3, Finley Smith at the 2, and Luka at the 1, and have 4 out of the 5 guys be old Mavs. So we really got the Los Angeles Mavericks.
Pretty much.
It's ridiculous, but I'm going to support both teams.
Still is for real?
I'm still going to support, because I still love PJ Washington and Hardy and Clay and all the guys on the team. I just hate the management team.
True.
I also wouldn't be mad if they just trashed and didn't even make the play, and I wouldn't be completely upset. But I'm going to support the Lakers. Will be my number 1 team that I'll watch probably more than any other team and root for. I don't know if they'll be able to get anything done this year. The trade deadline's coming up in like 2 days, and I don't know who they're going to be able to get getting starting caliber center, because I don't know if they're going to be able to do it by committee with like Jackson Hayes, Kleber playing some minutes at center, and if Christian Wood ever gets off the injury list.
But now that they have Luka, we talk about the Lakers. Now that they have Luka, how good of a center do you really need? Like, do you?
I mean, he made Dwight
you
Powell.
don't need Joel Embiid.
What's funny is Dwight Powell is like a 74 rated center. In 1 year, he had him like score the most points out of any center in the league in pick and roll, and he was like a 74. So I mean, he'll be able to get Jackson Hayes like a bunch of alley oops. He knows how to play with Kleba. Kleba played backup center for Dallas a bunch of years. When Dwight Powell would go to the bench, Kleba would come in and be the center. So he knows how to play with Kleba, and Kleba could play 5 out. So that way there's no one around the rim. So they can just, he can attack the rim with no help.
Do you think they should still go after
they should maybe get Valanciunas.
Valanciunas still?
Yeah, he's available. Or I think maybe get JaVale McGee if he's available. I don't know if he's cut or currently on a team. I also say you could possibly call Dwight Howard out of retirement and finally fulfill his dream, as I think he would be a great center. You have Luka throwing lobs to Dwight.
That'd be nasty.
I think if Dwight is still healthy and currently in game shape, or if you could work him along on like minutes restriction as a backup, I would do it.
Yeah.
But I think they got enough guards and everything. My co-host was playing with the Lakers, and it's like the Lakers got like the all-white squad.
Oh yeah, the Whiteys. You know,
Is that what they're going to call the white team?
They're
going to have Luka at point, Austin Reeves at the 2, Connect at the 3, Kleba at the 4, and then I don't know if they could throw in if they have another player. That'd be funny if they traded for Caruso again.
I forgot. The Riot Comedy.
Yeah.
They already started it. Like, see.
Oh my God. Papa. Oh my God. The Whiteys. Oh my God.
Is it?
Oh my God.
Told you it's already. Because it's funny when I play 2K.
Luka to Reeves to Connect.
Exactly. To Kleba.
To Kleba.
Fire.
Oh my God.
And all you need is one light skinned person just to throw it off. But I mean, the Lakers, yeah. When people grade in this, what do you give this trade grade? What are you giving the Mavs as a trade grade? And then what are you giving the Lakers as a trade grade? I'm giving the Mavs an A+. I'm giving that a B. B+.
I'm giving them I'm giving them an F.
Really?
Yeah. F traded the franchise because Nico Harrison got butthurt. I think something had to happen. I think we're gonna find out later because Luka was absolutely blindsided. He's was actually, they said that he was crying whenever he found out.
I believe it. We bought his house.
He had just bought a home that was like $15 million. I mean, apparently AD didn't think he was gonna get traded. That he had just bought like a $20-something million home in LA. But then he made that comment about, man, I've told the Lakers for like 5 years that I don't want to play center. And then it's like he's traded like 2 weeks later.
Now you got 2 good centers. Now you got Gafford and you got Lively.
Yeah, Lively when he's healthy. So, I mean, that's going to be awesome to see AD at the 4. Anytime AD is able to play the 4 next to a real center, like when he played with Boogie Cousins back in the day, that is freaking scary.
Definitely.
No shots around the rim.
I think all they really need is a good backup point guard. The Mavs.
What, Dinwiddie?
Oh, yeah, I forgot they got Dinwiddie. So, I mean, yeah, they're straight. I mean, you didn't lose anything. You got
third string point guards, Hardy.
Dinwiddie can finally stop crying like a little girl. He's gonna finally get the minutes he wants. Now he has to prove himself. Because that's the only reason why he didn't join the Lakers, because he didn't feel like he would have been used appropriately. Yeah. But now that you're on the Mavs and you are the guaranteed second point guard, so they have no choice. Then on top of that, like Kyrie Irving plays like every other game, so you finna be starting. And then after that, Hardy's gonna be right behind you. So I mean, with that'd be good. You got Maxey, he'd be a good backup. He'd be a good. He's the shooting guard with the Lakers. I'm giving.
Max Christie, I forgot. Yeah, came in the trade. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because like Dallas has enough pieces to maybe make one more trade.
They do,
because they have.
Well, who do you trade
that's
for?
What I'm saying. They have Spencer Dinwiddie. They got Christie. They got Grimes. They got Clay. They got Exum. They got Hardy. They got like 8 guys that could play shooting guard or point guard.
I'll probably give up Grimes and like some draft picks for a good backup point guard, because I don't think there's anybody you really need besides a backup point guard and a backup center.
Well, they have a backup center.
Oh, you don't need no centers. A backup
because you got
point
Gafford, and then now your backup power forward will be Omax.
Yeah, you probably just need you probably need a
You
small
could use a
forward,
better
power.
backup or power forward. Yeah.
Yeah, they just
Your
play
back. No,
defense.
they're good with backup small forward because like Grimes could play. They got Najee Marshall.
True.
He could play backup 4 or 3.
True.
And then you got Grimes that could play, or Exum can play backup 3. And then you got Hardy and Dimwitty that could play backup 1 or 2.
So you really need is somebody to play 2 or 3 or 4 that can play good defense. They can hit. A couple
I mean,
shots.
they got Christie now, so too. I mean, they really have enough. They don't really need it.
That's
They
what I
got
said.
a full team.
That's what I said.
They
It's
got
like a B plus.
They could play like a 12-man rotation. Dallas could.
True. And I mean,
it's gonna be interesting to see
you
who
can't
plays
go-
and doesn't.
you can't go. I mean, you also talk about like you can't have two small guards and try to win. You can have a pretty decent power forward, an amazing power forward, an amazing point guard, and a half decent Klay Thompson, and you probably can do.
Well, that's the great thing is like you might be worried about Klay playing the 2 because he was playing the 3, which those guys are a little bit slower, so he could stay with him. That he might be too slow to guard 2s anymore. But it's like even if Kyrie or Klay they get by them, there's going to be 2 7-footers back there to block shots, so it's not that much of a deal.
True.
When Luka and Kyrie were playing, it's hard to play good defense when you got 2 guards that aren't known for defense. Kyrie's feisty, but he's just so small, it's hard for him to make a difference.
And Lucas letting go past him.
And then, they do have a good center and blocking with Gafford and Lively, but they have PJ playing power forward who's kind of undersized. So if the center's pulled away from the rim, there's no one to really guard. So teams are getting too many easy layups. But I don't know. It seems like something rigged. It seems like the NBA's losing ratings. They needed Luka. The NBA needed to sell like 10 million in Lakers Luka jerseys, so they had him switch teams.
I can't believe they have this ranked as the number 1 biggest shocking trade of all time, and like
Not even Babe Ruth going from the Red Sox to the Yankees.
they got cursed for that.
Yeah, for what, like 100 years?
Basically, they got a curse for that. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain. I didn't know Wilt Chamberlain from the Golden State Warriors to the Sixers. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Garnett going to the Celtics. I mean,
That was pretty shocking.
that was pretty shocking. Shaq going
Lakers Heat.
to Lakers. I mean,
Where's LeBron?
I mean, that's not really big.
Oh, it's not. It wasn't a trade.
wasn't a trade.
He chose to leave. Yeah, that's different.
Or like Kate. Yeah, that wasn't a trade. But I mean, that is shocking. Y'all comment down below how y'all feel about the Lakers and the Mavs. Where do you think they're gonna be at? Will LeBron James does this give LeBron James more time?
Do you think LeBron's going to try to play more than like 2? I thought he might play 1 more year. Do you think he'll maybe try to play 2 more years now?
I feel like
Since Luka be the main ball handler.
they said every superstar that came to California won a title.
Yeah.
Pau Gasol, Shaq. No matter who you was, if you was a superstar, if you came to LA, you won a title. So it means he's gonna win the title either the next 2 or 3 years. They're gonna win the title. So, do you feel? And I already know the way the NBA set up, just like how the NFL did with Tom Brady. They gave Tom Brady a ring before he retired. They're gonna give LeBron James another. LeBron James is gonna have another ring before he retires. He'll have 5. He's either gonna tie Jordan. Or he may tie. I mean, with Luka.
You think Luka's are gonna get 2?
I guess.
I mean, I don't. It depends. Like, if they don't get a center, man, they're gonna be a small team.
They don't need a good center. You over there playing with freaking Freddie Mitchell as the center on the Lakers.
Freddie Mitchell?
I mean, for the Knicks,
Mitchell Robinson. He's good.
And JaVale McGee. So how good of a center do you really need?
I mean, I needed those guys at least. I mean, I didn't just say what Jackson Hayes and Kleba.
I'm sure that.
And Christian Wood's not even playing right now in real life.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
If he comes back and then you got those guys and they could do it by committee, I think they would be good enough. Because people forget Christian Wood was averaging like 18 to 22 points a game for a couple years. He was averaging like 17 or 18 with Dallas one year when he was with them. So Christian Wood is like a poor man not even poor man. He's kind of like how Porzingis is now.
Do you think this is gonna resurrect Kristaps with Christian Woods his whole career? Do you think he's gonna resurrect his career?
I mean, he played really good with Luka.
I can see. Okay, you can trade Connect. You can trade.
I love that Luka's back with Dorian Finley-Smith. I wanted Dallas to trade for Dorian Finley-Smith so he could get back on Dallas because